Hey, I just wanted to get on here and say that we just did the strikes on Iran. We just entered the war officially, so there's not a lot I'm allowed to say, but just for y'all's loved ones' sake, um, I hope y'all have some supplies. Like, I hope y'all got some a place to go, so some supplies, and it's things are gonna start getting crazy. So we've been eating a lot of lobster dinners recently, and if you know, you know. Y'all stay safe out there. This is not to scare anybody. This is just to let y'all know that things are about to get pretty wicked. So stay safe and watch out for each other. Amen.
How are you going to tell people this isn't to scare anybody and simultaneously in the same breath say, I hope y'all have some supplies? Why is this fucking boot, basic trainee, he might not be in basic training because I mean, I don't know. I went to basic training back in '09 when you weren't allowed phones in basic training in AIT. Well, in AIT, yes, but in basic training, no. You'd be lucky if you got a call on Sunday. But why is this clown who's clearly still in training? And the reason I'm telling you is because I was in the Army. I know what training barracks look like. And I know what a uniform looks like when you're in training. And I mean, the uniform doesn't change. That's not what I'm trying to say. But he's still wearing his PTs, which what I can only assume is after hours, because during class hours, you're not allowed to have your phone. At least when I went through AIT, they would confiscate your phone if you had it out during class hours. So if you had time to record, and I mean, he's in the barracks, so it is after hours. And he's got a camelback on. And if you look at his background, you can clearly see there are bunk beds there. Once you get to your duty station, you usually don't stay in barracks like that. You might stay in some shitty barracks, but you're usually not. You might be two to a room, but you're usually not in bunk beds unless you're in training. And again, I mean, I could be wrong, but this kid doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. And he's not even supposed to be talking about this, especially not in uniform. This shit, it's against UCMJ to be talking about political matters. And what war? We didn't enter any war. All the United States did was what they should have done a long time ago, was bomb the shit out of Iran's nuclear facilities. That's all we did. And then Iran did their symbolic retaliatory 12 rockets that they sent over to Qatar to attack a military base, supposedly, that they let America know ahead of time they were going to do so that the rockets could be intercepted. That's what happened. And he's talking about, oh, well, well, we've been having a lot of lobster dinners recently. You got a lobster dinner a few days ago because it was the Army's birthday, not for any other fucking reason. When I was stationed in Korea, we'd get lobster dinners or lobster lunches or whatever, lobster and steak, multiple times a year. Does that mean we were about to go to war with North Korea? That's right there? No. It just meant that it was usually some sort of special event like the U.S. Army birthday, or we had a high dignitary or high-ranking officer coming by. And they were going to the DFAC. So guess what? They had to do a dog and pony show and serve the best for the soldiers. Because we all know, if you've been in the military, we all know most of the shit, especially when it comes to high-ranking enlisted officials or even officers. It's all a dog and pony show. You got to show out. You got to show up and show out. He got one steak or lobster dinner a few days ago for the Army's birthday. He's talking about like he's been to war. Bro, you ain't even make it out of training. What are you talking about? You haven't even been to a unit. You don't even know what the real Army's like. You're in TRADOC right now. And you're talking about, oh, we're going to war. Oh, we just entered the war. Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. And this is why a lot of people now in the military, I don't even know if they really enforce this shit. I've never really actually seen anybody actually get in trouble for their social media posts. But I hope one of his drill sergeants saw this shit and smoked the living dog shit out of him. I actually managed to download this video last night. It was still up even after it had gone viral and had millions of views. Now, I haven't been to this gentleman's TikTok since the posting of this video, but I wonder if he took it down, because they might have made him take it down. But this is just ridiculous to talk about something you know nothing about. You're not even in the real army. You haven't even gotten to a real unit yet. You don't know what's going on, and no war ever happened. None of this went nowhere. Like I said, Iran played their little game where they do a little show for their people to make it seem like they're strong, but in reality, we know Iran can't do shit to America. Iran knows that if they had retaliated with any more force than that, the Ayatollahs would have been gone. Or the Ayatollah, I'm sorry, would have been gone. Iran cannot afford a war with the United States. We don't want the war, right? We don't want a war. I don't want to go to war. I don't want our people to go to war in Iran. We just spent 20 years in Afghanistan nation building for fucking what? For nothing. I don't want to go to another country and have the nation build it for another 20 fucking years. And at the end of the day, nothing's going to change. Because those people and their culture are fundamentally different than ours. They do not believe in democracy. They do not believe in the fundamental freedoms that we believe in. The only thing we can do when we get these people out of power is hope that the next person that gets in power is a little less radical than they are, than the current regime or whatever. That's the only thing we could ever hope for. But that area will never fundamentally change. Anyways, nobody wants troops on the ground. We weren't going to send troops on the ground. But if Iran had decided and Trump decided that he was going to send, even if it was for the 60 days that he's allowed to do by Congress, to send troops on the ground, we'd take Iran down in a couple of days. We already did it to them in the 80s. With one carrier group, we sank 80% of their Navy in the 80s. Imagine what we could do now. Imagine what we could do now. We did it to Iraq. In 9 days, we defeated their army. In 9 days. And took I forgot. I think it was either no casualty or one injury. It wasn't even a casualty. I forget what the exact numbers were. We absolutely decimated them. What people don't understand is that they talk about America saying, oh, America hasn't won a war, blah, 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 blah. The thing is that war has changed, right? War is no longer army versus army. Now it's like army versus an insurgency group or a terrorist group or whatever that does guerrilla warfare. They don't fight in traditional battles. But traditionally, army versus army, nobody's beating the U.S. Army. And we've proven that time and time again. And so the Iranian regime knows that, and they know they can't do anything about it. Because they know if we go in there and destroy the shit, because that's what will happen, they're not going to have an Ayatollah anymore. And that's why they responded the way that they did. But people like this need to shut the fuck up and worry about their training. Bro, you ain't going to war. There was no war ever going to happen because Iran wasn't going to do it. Iran knows what's up. They just have to posture for their population and make it seem like they're strong. They came out and said that they did an overwhelmingly successful attack. All the rockets got intercepted on the way to Qatar. But people like this need to stay off the internet, especially when they're in uniform. Now, when you're a civilian, say whatever you want, but you know that when you're making political statements in uniform, it's against the UCMJ. But that's all I got for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you think this kid should have came online and made this stupid video and embarrassed himself while we can still clearly see that he's still in training with his camelback on and with a bunker bed behind him? A bunk bed behind him. Let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. I appreciate y'all watching the video. And if you like, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And and share the video with your friends. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.